Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of
Startup Chat.
I'm Afshin Deuce.
I'm Mo.
Hi, Mo.
Hey,
How are you?
how is your Monday?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
how's yours?
Perfect.
Love it. Short and sweet.
Yes.
Perfect is good. Perfect is perfect. Yeah. So, Mo, I was thinking we should talk about the pitch
Mm-hmm.
in the context of storytelling
Yep.
and what should be in it and who should present it. What do you think?
So it depends. I think it depends on team. Sometimes you're a solo founder,
Yeah.
so you take care of everything.
Yes.
But when there is a couple of co-founders, one is CEO, one is CTO, one is, I don't know, CSO,
Yeah.
everything. So they should decide. But I think CEO should be in charge for presenting the company product. Maybe it doesn't have enough knowledge like the CTO,
Yeah.
but he can be familiar with every in and out of the product, so he can present to other people.
Okay. So your belief is that as far as the presentation of the pitch goes, the CEO should own that pitch
Of course.
at the very beginning. Of course, as the startups grow and they have chief financial officers or VP of finance or whatever, there's a lot of input from that position that goes into the pitch. Everything from pricing to the financial projections to there's a lot of things that can be added.
Yes.
But that's for a later stage. To start off at very early stage, I agree with you that the CEO should own the pitch. Now, what should be the content of the pitch? And now that's a very general question because everybody knows you got to have problem, you got to have solution, you got to have your market, you got to have your traction, you got to have your team, you're going to have your ask. So I'm not looking for us to just name it and move on from it. But I want it from the context of storytelling.
Yes.
How do you tell a story in a pitch that would wow people?
I believe most of the founders, when they are doing a business, there is something happened for them. It was a problem for themselves. Okay. And then they started to looking at, so what would be the solution?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they go and create a solution, develop it, and deliver to other people. So there is an initial point for starting the story.
Yes.
And it would be very good if you had a personal story attaching to your pitch.
Beautiful. So I couldn't agree more. I think a personal experience that would be the initial point of motivation to do something about a problem actually brings in that emotional aspect and the logical aspect together into kind of one bullet and says, hey, I'm doing this. I want to make $1 billion. Don't get me wrong, but I want to do that by creating impact through solving this problem that I felt to the core when I came across it. And those founders are usually the ones who can actually tell a story that impacts people, moves people. I got a story to tell you about this. I had a friend who was starting a company for setting appointments. And his personal story was that he got into an accident while skiing. And he wanted to go see a physiotherapist. And it took him many calls going back and forth trying to find that physiotherapist while he was in pain. And so he said, hey, why don't we have an automated appointment setting software so I can just go in there and book the person? And that resonated with me. That sat with me so well. And so, do you have an example like that that you can tell us?
Yeah, I can think about many things, but
How about something to do with
Ye-
PayPal?
yeah, I was thinking about myself
Yeah, okay.
when I hit the pothole and said, "Holy moly, why no one taking care of these potholes?"
So you were driving
Yes.
and you hit a pothole.
Yeah.
And what happened? We hit a
At the,
pothole every day.
yeah, but at the time, my mind was working on a project
Yeah.
for remote sensing
Okay.
to gather data from long distance locations.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about different scenarios how we can bring data. At the time, I was driving and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the pothole and
Okay.
said, okay, maybe we can think about this information as well. Maybe
Okay.
if we can just broadcast to
Yes.
everyone. So
Yes.
there is a pothole.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah.
It can help a lot of people. And
Okay.
that pothole cost me a lot.
It cost you a lot.
Yes.
How did that happen?
So my alignment, my tire blow. So it was a bad accident for me.
Wow. Okay. So the motivation for you came out of a personal experience.
Yes.
And the damage
exactly
that was caused. That's interesting. So, okay, so that's our starting point, right? So we have to say, I have felt the pain that I'm trying to address, and this is my story, and this is the motivation behind why I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's your why. Okay, so you want to solve a problem. Now, what's the next step? You found the problem, you're motivated to solve it. You need to make sure that that problem is actually felt by a lot of people around the world, or like, how much do you need to do? How much legwork do you need to do before you commit to creating a business out of it?
Yes.
Because people come across problems a lot, right? I could say, hey, I've cut my hand with a knife. Let me go find something for it. But how often do I cut my hand with a knife, right? Or how often? Maybe it's very often. I don't know. It just happened to me twice in my life, right? So how do you take that motivation and that personal story and put a suit on it that all of a sudden looks like, wow, this is something nobody's thought about? Maybe there's something to be done here, right? Like, how does that transition happen?
From my personal experience, when the story happened for me, I reached out to my co-founder Ray. So this happened for me, and it really hurt. So we were talking about it, and a week later, same happened for him. Okay. So, and then we discussed maybe we should do something about it. So, yes, when something happened for you, there is an idea. You go and tell your friend, your family, validate your idea little by little by telling other people. And then you assess your expertise. If you are able to fix this problem. If not, who should I talk to?
Okay. So you need to immediately try to validate the size of the problem. How many people are facing it? How often is it happening? And then look at your own capabilities to see if you can actually find a solution for it. And once that is a match, so I'm getting three things out of this, right? So storytelling starts with a personal experience, and that way it's more genuine, and the pain that's felt can be expressed a whole lot better than a pain that has not been expressed, felt, right? And once that pain is felt, in order to put a suit on it and call it a business, you need to start talking to people to see how often people feel that pain, who feels it, and whether they have that inclination to kind of find a solution for it, because the pain is so big that they don't want to live with it. They want to solve it. And then you look at yourself and say, okay, am I capable to help solve this pain? And so once those three come together, all of a sudden the story makes sense. Hey, I felt the pain. I had an aha moment and a motivation to create a change around it. And then I looked at others and I saw, wow, they feel the same way about this event. And I looked at myself and I said, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so that's how the story starts. Now, there are a lot of people who talk about this very well, but there are gaps in the way they present it.
Yes.
For example, they haven't quantified the pain.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, it's easy to quantify it because you actually went out there and you paid for it, right?
Exactly.
So every time you get into a pothole, it could cost you X amount of dollars, right? And others could have had a similar experience. And but sometimes it's not that easy to quantify a pain.
Yes.
What do you do there? How do you go about looking at a pain that you're motivated about, but it's really tough to quantify?
Maybe it's hard to quantify the pain, but maybe it's easy to quantify the value you're creating.
Okay.
You know, for example, for a therapy session, when you go to therapy,
Yeah. The therapy session.
yeah,
Yeah.
can you measure it, how it much helped you?
Yeah, well,
I don't know
it's
if
a
it's
feeling game.
yeah.
Yeah, and well, it could be more than a feeling game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you could look at your productivity and how much it improves,
Yeah,
and
but you cannot quantify it. Can you?
It depends.
Okay, tell me.
It depends. So the balance of scorecard, and again, I'm not saying this because we are switching to being scientific,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
This is just a casual conversation between friends and sharing our experiences with you. But the balance of scorecard says you look at 4 different areas in a business, right?
Okay.
You look at your employees, their satisfaction, and their training, their commitment to the company, your churn rate, all that kind of stuff, your attrition rate and all that. And then you look at your customers and how happy are they with you. And then you look at your processes, how efficient are those processes. And then at the end, you look at your financial statements, right? So I think throughout this, looking at different things from different angles, you might be able to come up with unit economics that actually measures productivity. For example, say, hey, I cannot focus, I'm not productive enough, and I've kept tab on my KPIs and I can't meet them. How can I create more aggressive KPIs and still meet those? And so I think it would require a lot of creativity to try to quantify it. But my belief is, if you can't measure it, if you can't quantify it, then your story is not going to be as strong as it should be.
Good point.
Right?
Yep.
So it's tough sometimes, like you say, quantifying a therapist's work in certain areas. But I think it should be doable if you are bringing it into the context of a business. Right?
Yes.
So you need to find an angle that's quantified.
Because at the end, people are going to pay for that.
Exactly.
They should know the unit economy.
Exactly. So they should get more value than what they're paying for. And that's how we're adding value to people's lives, right?
Makes sense.
Pay me X dollars and pay 2X in value that you can use and you can enjoy and live a happier, longer life, better life. So I think
let me
this
ask you a
is good.
question before you
I need to take off because my doctor is calling me and I need to take this. But thank you for watching. Thank you for being with us. And we look forward to talking to you again. Please don't forget to follow and have a great day.
See you.